Chapter 1. The Announcement. George sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the vet bill for the 10th time. His dog, Leo, a scruffy little mutt with ears too big for his head, lay on the floor beside him, resting his chin on George's shoe. "Leo," George sighed, "how are we supposed to come up with $5,000? Leo's tail gave a slow wag, like he was saying, "You'll figure it out, human." George's phone buzzed. A notification lit up his screen. The Parkour Civilization Challenge is back. Win $10,000. Streamed live. George sat up straighter. 10,000? That's enough for your surgery, buddy. Leo barked softly, as if to encourage him. The post described the game. Roblox Parkour Civilization was the hardest challenge on the platform, with 10 brutal levels and only one winning team. George had never played parkour games competitively, but he had no choice. "We're doing this, Leo. I'll win this for you." Leo licked his hand, which George took as, "Don't fall in lava." Chapter 2. Enter the game. Logging in felt surreal. George's avatar appeared in the massive digital lobby filled with hundreds of players, all hyped and ready. Floating banners read, "Parkour Civilization Challenge. May the best team survive." A booming NPC voice echoed through the arena. "Welcome, contestants. You face the toughest, wildest, most over-the-top parkour course ever created." George gulped. He was already intimidated. "Hey," someone said behind him. A tall avatar with messy black hair and a confident grin waved. "Name's Carlos. You look new. Stick with me. I'm a parkour god. I once cleared 500 spikes with one jump." George blinked. Good for you?" Another player strutted over. She had pink hair, golden boots, and an aura of intimidation. "Maya, if you two slow me down, I'll ditch you." George held up his hands. "No slowing down here." Two more players joined. Sarah, quiet but observant, and Anthony, who was already juggling virtual snack items. "Anthony," he said, "and I come with unlimited motivation and Doritos." George smiled nervously. "At least I'm not alone." Chapter 3. Level 1. The Great Wall of Jumping. The first challenge materialized. An endless wall of crumbling platforms leading into the clouds. "This looks safe," George muttered. Carlos cracked his knuckles. "Follow me, and don't stop moving." He sprinted ahead with the confidence of a superhero. George hesitated, but jumped onto the first platform, which immediately cracked. "Oh no! Move!" Maya yelled as she bounded ahead. Anthony screamed halfway up, "If I die, bury me with my snacks." George slipped twice, but Carlos grabbed his hand each time. "I got you, dude." At one point, a rival player intentionally stomped on George's platform, nearly sending him plummeting. "Hey!" George shouted. The rival smirked. "Welcome to the big leagues." Maya hurled a snowball from who knows where at him, knocking him off balance. "Mess with our team again and see what happens." They reached the top, breathless. George collapsed. "One level down, 9 to go. I already regret this life choice." Chapter 4. Secret Side Quest. The Golden Key. Before the next level, a glowing door appeared. "Secret side quest available. The Golden Key." "Bonus prizes?" Anthony's eyes lit up. "We're doing it!" Inside was a maze filled with treasure chests, booby traps, and snack machines. Anthony immediately disappeared into the snack area. "Where's Anthony?" Sarah asked. George peeked into a vending machine cave. "He's trying to buy virtual chips with real coins." "I'm investing in my future," Anthony yelled. Carlos found the golden key on top of a trap platform. "Don't worry, I've got—" "Ah!" The platform dropped, but George and Sarah grabbed him at the last second. With the key secured, they unlocked a bonus stash of power-ups. Maya grinned. "This will come in handy later." Chapter 5. Level 2. Lava Land. The ground glowed bright orange. Lava everywhere. Giant axes swung overhead. "Why does this game hate us?" George asked. "Because suffering builds character," Maya replied, flipping over an axe. Anthony tried to jump a lava river and face-planted on the edge. "I regret nothing!" Carlos hauled him up by his hoodie. A rival team member tried to sabotage them by cutting their rope bridge. but Sarah used a grappling hook power-up from the side quest to save everyone. "Nice work, Ninja," Carlos said. By the end, George was sweating but starting to believe they could actually win. Chapter 6. Rival Encounter, Team Titan. As they caught their breath, the rival team appeared. Team Titan. They were fast, cocky, and led by the same guy who'd stomped George's platform. "Give up," the leader sneered. "You're no match for us." Carlos stepped forward. "We'll see about that, pretty boy." "Pretty boy?" George whispered. Maya crossed her arms. "They're just scared we'll beat them." Team Titan shoved past them, but George felt a spark of determination. "We're going to win this. For Leo." Chapter 7. Level 3. The Ice Slides. The next level was a snowy mountain with huge icy slides twisting down into the mist. "This looks fun," Anthony shouted before leaping face first onto a slide. "We're not ready!" George followed unwillingly as Anthony crashed into him. They spun out of control, colliding with Carlos and Sarah. By the time they reached the bottom, they were one giant snowball that plowed straight into the finish line. "October 10th landing," Carlos said, buried in snow. Team Titan, who had been sliding gracefully, wiped out after colliding with the group. "You ruined our speed run!" their leader roared. "Oops," Maya said, smiling innocently. Chapter 8. Level 4. Jungle Chaos. They hacked through vines, swung on ropes, and dodged coconuts thrown by angry virtual monkeys. "Did that monkey just throw a banana at me?" George asked. "Yes," Sarah said, "and it has good aim." Maya got tangled in a vine. "Don't you dare laugh." George helped her down, laughing anyway. "You look like a piñata." Halfway through, Team Titan tried to block their path by collapsing a bridge, but Anthony spotted a secret shortcut and led them to safety. Chapter 9. Level 5. The Gauntlet. This level was pure chaos. Spikes, lasers, swinging hammers, and falling platforms. Anthony screamed non-stop. "Why are there so many spikes?" George dodged a laser by millimeters. "Did you see that?" "Yes," Carlos said. "And now you're about to hit another laser." "What?" "Just kidding." Sarah saved Carlos from a collapsing platform, and they all barely made it through alive. Chapter 10. Level 6. The Underwater Ruins. They donned scuba gear and swam through ancient ruins filled with sea monsters. Anthony panicked when a shark appeared. "It's coming for me!" "That's a dolphin," Sarah said calmly. "Oh, carry on then." They solved underwater puzzles with their power-ups and unlocked the ancient gate. Chapter 11. Bonus level, Snacktopia. A glowing portal appeared. Bonus level, Snacktopia. Anthony didn't even hesitate. Yes, it was a floating island of candy, pizza, and soda fountains, but all the food items were booby-trapped. Anthony triggered at least 5 traps, but they collected bonus health potions and speed boosts. "Worth it," Anthony said, stuffing pixelated pizza in his mouth. Chapter 12. Level 7. Sky Islands. They leapt from floating island to island, battling wind gusts and spike traps. Anthony was blown off but grabbed George's foot. "I believe in you. You're heavy," George shouted as the team pulled them both back up. Team Titan tried to sabotage them by stealing their grappling hook, but Sarah managed to snatch it back mid-air. Chapter 13. Rival sabotage. Team Titan set up a trap in the safe zone, locking the team in a collapsing cage. "Looks like you're out," their leader taunted, but Carlos used the golden key from Chapter 4 to unlock a hidden door. "Bye-bye," Carlos said as Team Titan was caught in their own collapsing trap. Chapter 14. Level 8. The volcano lava erupted everywhere as they raced up the volcano's side. "This feels like the final boss," Anthony said. George almost fell, but Carlos and Maya pulled him up. They barely made it to the summit, exhausted but alive. Chapter 15. The final level, Civilization's Tower. A towering skyscraper of every obstacle they'd faced stood before them. "This is insane," Maya whispered. "We can do it," George said. "Together." The climb was brutal. They worked as a flawless unit. Sarah led, Carlos cleared obstacles, Maya covered the rear, and Anthony carried snacks. At the top, Team Titan was waiting. "This ends now," their leader said. It turned into a race. George took a leap of faith across the final gap and grabbed the victory flag. "Congratulations, you are the winners." Chapter 16, Leo's Second Chance, expanded. George stepped into the vet's office with the envelope of prize money clutched so tightly it might disintegrate. Leo wagged his tail nervously beside him, his big brown eyes darting around the lobby. "It's okay, buddy," George whispered, crouching to stroke his scruffy fur. "This is it. You're gonna be good as new." The receptionist smiled warmly as she took the money. "You must really love this little guy." "More than anything," George said. "He's my best friend." Leo barked softly, like he understood. The surgery took hours. George waited in the lobby, pacing a trench in the carpet. He texted the group chat for updates, even though there weren't any to give. Carlos, "Relax, man. Leo's tough." Maya, "Yeah, if he's anything like you, he's gonna be fine." Anthony, "Also, I'm making a get-well pizza for Leo. Dogs eat pizza, right?" Sarah, "No, they don't. Please don't." George smiled at his phone despite the knot in his stomach. Finally, the vet came out, pulling off his gloves. The surgery was a success. Leo's going to be just fine. George almost cried on the spot. Thank you so much." A week later, George and Leo were in the backyard, Leo prancing around like nothing had ever happened. "You're faster than before," George laughed as Leo zipped around the grass, ears flopping. Leo skidded to a stop at the back door just as George's laptop pinged with an alert. It was from Roblox. New message, Parkour Civilization team chat. He opened it and was greeted by the familiar chaos of his friends. Carlos, "Online meeting in 5. We need to plan our next move." Maya, "What move? We just won the biggest challenge ever." Anthony, "We need a team name first. I vote Snack Attack." Sarah, "We're not calling ourselves Snack Attack." George chuckled and clicked the join button. The familiar voices of his friends filled the screen. "George, how's Leo?" Carlos asked. "Back to his usual hyper self," George said, glancing at the dog trying to bury a squeaky toy. "Couldn't have done it without you guys." Maya smirked. "We're kind of awesome." Anthony popped onto camera with a giant slice of pizza in each hand. "I made a pizza for Leo, but Sarah wouldn't let me deliver it. Something about dogs not digesting cheese." "Because they can't," Sarah said flatly from her screen. "Seriously," George said, "I couldn't have done this without you." "You're more than teammates. You're family now." Carlos grinned. "Oh, group hug." Maya groaned. "Please don't make this weird." But Anthony had already leaned into his camera dramatically. "I'm hugging you through the internet." George laughed so hard he nearly fell out of his chair. Leo barked, drawing everyone's attention. "Whoa," Carlos said. "Did Leo just say hi to us?" "Pretty much," George said. "Tell him he's officially our team mascot," Maya added. "We'll get him a virtual hoodie." "Wait," Anthony said suddenly, nearly dropping his pizza. "We should enter another challenge. We've got the skills, the power-ups, and now a mascot." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "You mean, do this all over again?" "Exactly," Anthony grinned. "But this time, we'll be legendary." George looked down at Leo, who wagged his tail like he approved. "You up for another adventure?" he asked softly. Leo barked twice. George smiled. "Then I guess it's settled. Team Snack Attack. Wait, no, we need a better name. We'll return." The group started shouting ridiculous team names at once. Jump Squad, Parkour Legends, Monkey Bananas. Anthony's suggestion, obviously. George leaned back in his chair, laughing as the noise filled his room. Leo hopped up beside him, resting his head on George's lap. "We did it, buddy," George whispered. "And this is just the beginning."